Hi, David O'Brien, Team O'Brien Real Estate, Marin County, California. So today's video is on agent relations. And please keep in mind that the purpose of these videos is to educate you, if you will, or give you information, share information with you that I feel will help you secure a property here in Marin County. That's it. That's my goal. So with that in mind, I would say one of the most important things about agent relations, and typically, and this is a pitch, forgive me, for using a local agent. And I hope that's myself and Deirdre, who I work on a team with, but if it's not us, then some other reputable local agent. Because the importance of that ties in with agent relations. And so what you're going to receive with that, typically if the agent's good and has a network, is you're going to have an advantage in finding a home here in Marin County. And the importance of that is there's very limited supply here and a large demand. So any insight that you can receive because of the relationships that agent has with other agents is going to be helpful. And that's more likely to be the case if the agent is a local agent. So you're going to know about off-market properties. And you won't always have as much of an advantage as you once did in this county by knowing about off-market properties, because it used to be you could find an off-market property and maybe you could secure that off-market with no competition. The key there is no competition. Now, even if you're finding that property off-market, you're still going to have some competition. And we've secured 4 this year in 2021 so far. One of those, an additional one, a PreMarket property, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So, but in 2 of those instances, we were competing still against other agents who had clients that knew about the property off market, but that's still a much better situation. And if the property had hit the MLS and it had been syndicated to sites like Zillow and Trulia, Realtor.com, Homes.com, and just, across the web. So it was less competition. We were able to secure the property. So that's one of the importance. And the reason we knew about those is because of our relationship with other agents, and because of those agents knowing us, knowing that we educate our clients, knowing that we care about our clients, and knowing that we're easier to work with. And please don't confuse this with us not negotiating on behalf of our clients. It's just that the agents know us, know what to expect, and know that we're educating our clients at the same time. So they know the transaction's going to be more fluid and less stressful for themselves and their clients because of our educational process with our buyers. These videos being a part of that. The next portion of that is pre-market properties. So sometimes, because typically it's in the best interest of the seller if the property goes full to market. So sometimes we'll be able to find a property before it hits the market, but where the listing agent and the seller won't allow us or our clients to write an offer on that property until it hits the market, because they want the property to get full exposure. That still gives the buyer an advantage because they've been able to educate themselves on that property, maybe do their own due diligence prior to it hitting the market, checking out the neighborhood, the local schools, maybe talking to neighbors. They've been able to do all of that. And so they have an advantage in timing, if you will, and maybe writing terms that are tighter in relation to their inspection contingencies, in relation to their offer, and so bettering their chances of securing that property. And again, this gets back to client or agent relations. So if you have an agent, they know other agents, they're networking, and those other agents want to work with the agent you're working with because of the good relations they have with the other agents, then you're increasing the likelihood of you succeeding in finding a property. Which leads to the next one, networking group. Okay, if you're dealing with a local agent and they're doing business, then that local agent is likely to be a part of at least a couple of networking groups, at least 2. And that's if they've been doing business for a while, because most of the time, whether this is right or wrong, I'm not here to judge that, but my experience is when I first got into the business, I wasn't privy to all the networking groups. It was only after being in the business for a few years that I became privy to those networking groups, and then I've slowly accumulated those associations with networking groups moving forward. So it's important, local agent, one that's been in the business for a few years, because then they're going to be privy to those networking groups. And those networking groups for your agent are typically going to talk about off-market, upcoming listings, two big advantages, and then just the way the market's going, what the trend is. You know, did you get, Sally, did you get 5 or 6 offers? Yes, I got 5 or 6 offers, David. Were they non-contingent offers? Did they have a loan contingency? Did they have an inspection contingency? Your agent will be able to ask those kind of questions. Again, getting back to agent relations, they're only part of those networking groups if they're, you know, if they're kind, if they're nice, if they're easier to work with. Because if you're not as an agent, then you're not going to be working in those groups for too long. So that's the important part of client relations, and them being part of those networking groups. And then additionally, is your agent nice? Because if they're nice, and this doesn't mean they're a doormat to be walked on, because you don't want that either for negotiation purposes, but are they nice? Are they pleasant? Do they smile? Are they approachable? You want all those things. And so that'll help you to determine if they have good relations with other agents. And that's, again, going to go to local agents. And this is what I would say too, just keep this in your mind, is would you rather work with what you know or with what you don't know? Keeping in mind that as long as it's not atrocious, right? So, and again, then that goes back to agent relations. If you're working with an agent that is pleasant, then the other agents are likely going to want to work with them because they know they're pleasant. So just keep that in mind. Then I've touched on this already, but other agents, if they know how your agent works, again, that makes it easier for them to manage things. It makes it easier for them to set their expectations for their seller. And so listing agents will appreciate that. And again, it's just giving you another edge in getting your offer accepted. And I'll just end with this, reputation. This ties into with everything we've said. Does the agent that you're working with, because of their agent relations to a lesser degree, but what's their reputation? If they have a good reputation in the community, then other agents are likely going to want to work with them. And that's the importance, I would say, of agent relations and just giving you an edge in securing a property in this market here in Marin County. Always here for questions. I hope that you found this helpful. All the best.